Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. If you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a pre-fight for UFC on Fox, Lawler versus Dos Anjos, welterweight clash of the ages, and this is a pre-fight rundown of the main card with predictions. So let's get started. So the main event, two former UFC champions duking it out in the welterweight division. You got former UFC welterweight champ Robbie Lawler versus former UFC lightweight champion Rafael Dos Anjos. Both these guys, longtime veterans in the UFC, both have knockout power, both have pretty darn good jiu-jitsu skills. I would say Lawler's more the wrestler-based fighter out of the two. But yeah, they're more brawlers slash jiu-jitsu practitioners stylistically, and in my opinion, yeah, this fight has sparks written all over it. Sparks will fly on this main event. Yeah, I'm giving Robbie Lawler a 51% chance of winning this fight. That's my pick to win. I'm picking him to win by first round knockout because he has heavy hands. However, I can't count out Dos Anjos because he is fast. He throws combinations like crazy, and he could land a killer combination out of nowhere, just throwing Lawler off guard. And unless Lawler counters right at the right time, could be a long night for Lawler, and Lawler could find himself on the wrong side of a decision or possibly a knockout loss. So this fight could go either way. The matchmakers did a great job with this main event. And yeah, but I'm picking Robbie Lawler by first round knockout. But, don't think I'm thinking Lawler's just going to necessarily dominate that easily, because before he gets that first round knockout, the first 3 minutes could be Dos Anjos throwing crazy combinations and Lawler trying to avoid the combinations and then countering. But yeah, for here now, I'm picking Lawler first round knockout. Then in the co-main event, we have a catchweight bout at 148.5 pounds with Ricardo Lamas versus Josh Emmett. This was originally going to be a featherweight clash, and Josh Emmett's a top prospect in the featherweight division, and Ricardo Lamas, former title challenger, ranked number 3 going into this fight. Ricardo Lamas has a lot to lose and very little to gain in terms of rankings out of this fight. But with this win, it'll help legitimize Ricardo Lamas' number 3 ranking that much more. And this is just I think this is a closer fight than people are giving it credit for. I think ultimately what wins Ricardo Lamas in this fight is, okay, wrestling is kind of neck and neck. They're both talented wrestlers. However, Ricardo Lamas has the better jiu-jitsu skills, and I think that's what's going to win Ricardo Lamas a decision in this fight. Is he'll go for position over submission in the grappling, and that's going to win him points on the judges' scorecards, and he's going to win a decision due to getting dominant positions on the ground, and Josh Emmett defending, and yeah, Emmett will be in defensive mode, and Lamas will win a decision based on that. And so I'm picking Ricardo Lamas by unanimous decision. And then in the another welterweight clash on the main card, we have Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Mike Perry. Mike Platinum Perry, very highly regarded prospect in this division. Santiago Ponzinibbio, though, oh man, I mean, both these guys are knockout artists. They're both fun to watch. I think whoever loses this fight is going to rebound with a win or two down, in the next several months, up to a year. And there's only going to be a temporary setback for the loser of this fight. But yeah, I got to go with Santiago Ponzinibbio with a knockout win here, first round, because of the experience and the speed and just the crazy footwork of Santiago. Mike Perry is very heavy-handed, but I just think Santiago has the speed advantage and that killer instinct to get things done, and also just having trained in high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for so long will also help possibly in this fight. But I think this fight stays standing and Santiago gets a knockout win. But I like Mike Perry as well. I'm a big fan of both these guys, and it's going to be exciting. Then in the light heavyweight division to kick off the main card, we have Glover Teixeira versus Misha Cirkunov. And, man, I went back and forth on who I think is going to win this, but I think Misha Cirkunov wins by submission round 2 because there's a big age gap in this, and I think Glover gets worn out eventually, and Misha capitalizes and avoids the heavy hands of Glover. I'm only giving Misha a 51% chance of getting that submission and winning this fight because, again, Glover's heavy-handed and could knock him out, and Misha Cirkunov needs to be careful. Both are definitely looking to get back up there in the rankings. Glover recently had that big loss to Alexander Gustafsson and would like to move back up on the rankings and be back in title contention. And a win over a top guy like Misha is definitely going to put his name back on that list. But yeah, Misha Cirkunov, great submission skills, pretty good wrestling, and I think Misha Cirkunov gets it done in the ground department at some point, taking down Glover in the second round for a late second round submission win. And I think this main card's gonna have finishes all over it, except for maybe the co-main event. But even then, I could be wrong. There could be a big finish there. So that wraps up this pre-fight show of the main card. And stay tuned in the coming days for my post-fight of this. And until then, I will see ya.